This clip is sponsored by Wash and Go, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, I'm surrounded by a sea of green. By now you should know that Wash and Go is the best way to look after your luscious locks. I mean, look at what it's done for mine. Fantastic. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at some of the 600 plus unreal reviews on their Amazon page. Linda from the United Kingdom says, well, it smells lush and leaves hair smelling fresh. Fantastic, Linda. Kingdom customer JSB says, product arrived as advertised. Always very important. Always important to know that, Kindle customer JSB. And finally, my personal favourite, it's shampoo and it works for me. Absolutely fantastic there from Casey. It is indeed shampoo and also a conditioner. If you want to get your Wash and Go today, then hit the link in the description and get your bottle sent to you today. And remember, it's a shampoo and it works for me. Murta. Some really interesting comments from them that I just don't trust, but we'll go through it and we'll talk about it. But I was speaking to somebody this afternoon, in fact a couple of people this afternoon, and we were talking about, you know, basically Manchester United. How many times have we heard over the last 9 years in these types of meetings that the club is absolutely dedicated to winning trophies? And it becomes tiresome. You know, it becomes the boy who cried wolf. You know, we want to win trophies, and you maybe believe it the first couple of times, but 9 years later, I don't. You know, and there was even a line that I think it came from John Murta. Our aim is not to finish top four, it's to win trophies. And I'm like, but that's not true, John. It's not true, is it, John? Your aim is to get top four because that's what the Glazers want, because they want to make money. And I'll go back to what I said last night. If this football's club is to aim, look, it's very simple. If this football club's aim is to win trophies, why are the Glazers still here? Why is Richard Arnold here? And why is John Murtaugh still here? John Murtaugh's been at this club since 2013. Richard Arnold's been here the same amount of time. The Glazers have been here longer than that. If your aim was to win trophies at this football club, why have you not sold it? Why have you not been sacked? Why have you not resigned and let other people have a go? Because your aim is not to win trophies. Your aim is to get top four and make money for the Glazers. And we spoke about this last night. If anybody actually really cared about this football club, they wouldn't sit in a job failing for 8-9 years. They'd have been sacked or moved on. This is just a scam. It's a massive, big scam. Our aim is to win trophies, and it comes out every year. And some fans fall for the scam. But we're not trying to win trophies. We're trying to get in the top four and make money for these owners. Because as I said last night, if these owners genuinely cared about Manchester United like I do and you do, I'd have sold the club. I'd have sold the club to somebody else because I've had my chance and I've failed. But they won't sell the club because it's a massive money maker. Anyway, so I was having this chat this afternoon. I was getting a bit heated like that, and I was saying, oh, I'm just fed up of it. It's the same old spin. It's the same old thing. Buy shirts, sell season tickets, get brands in. We want to win trophies. It's just words. There's no substance to it. It's just words. I want to be a millionaire. I want to drive a Ferrari. I want to write an Oscar-winning script. I want to star in bloody EastEnders. You know, I can say those words. I'm not going to do any of those things. But Manchester United are allowed to do it every year. Well, we want to win trophies. That's our aim. Well, bloody go and win them then. You've got more resources than anybody else. So I was having this. This is where the Rangnick thing comes into it. Because I was having this chat and they said, well, you know, basically Rangnick has given that club a lot of advice. And he's telling them how to go about it. And I was like, come on then, humour me. What do you think Rangnick's telling them? And they said, well, it's not what Rangnick, it's not what I think. It's what we know. I mean, the evidence is out there already, what we know. But also, obviously, there is stuff that's going around sort of the journalistic world about what Rangnick has advised Manchester United to do. And one of the core principal things he's told them to do is stop going after 80, 90, 100 million pound players and start looking at volume players. Start looking at first, second contract players, which is what we already know with Rangnick. Yes, was that the Ronaldo hat trick, Dean? I remember a few games with Real Madrid that were very, very good. I wanted to ask, we say our club is run by bankers and finance people. What about others? City, Chelsea, others. I found they are run by people from finance as well. Are all clubs run the same? Says Akshay. Well, you're wrong there, Akshay. They're not actually run by financial people. They're run by football people. Have you got the Youth Champions League on? Good start from the lads. It's on BT Sport if anyone else is wanting to watch. No, Joshua, I'll probably watch the highlights later, to be honest. I always put the United Stand first. We're live at night and my focus is with you. So if people want to tell us in the updates, that's absolutely fine. But look, you know, basically what Ralph Rangnick has told this football club is that they need to, you know, as I said, I'm seeing things tonight about Mbappe and Haaland potentially going to Real Madrid. Rangnick has basically told the club not to go for those sort of players because that's not what you need to do. Now, Rangnick's a big admirer of Haaland and he's probably a big admirer of Mbappe. But what he's basically saying to the club is, if you've got an option of getting Erling Haaland there and Mino Raiola's knocking at your door with a 150 to 200 million pound package and saying he will come if you give us that money, you should close the door and say he's a great player. Let's go and see if someone else will buy him. Because that 150 million pounds could buy you 4 first-team players better than what you've got at the moment. And that is basically what Ralf Rangnick is advising the board to do. He's basically saying, stop buying the Pogbas, stop buying the Ronaldos, stop buying the Di Marias, stop buying the Harry Maguires in relation to, there's nothing wrong with those players, but their fees are astronomical. Even the Jadon Sanchos, it takes your ability to rebuild away. This is why. And it was a really interesting conversation because what was basically being told was that this is why United didn't buy a midfielder last year. They know they needed a midfielder, but they'd spent their money on Sancho, Ronaldo and Varane, and there was nothing left for a midfielder. And that is basically what Rangnick's telling them. And it's interesting because we were talking about this 2 weeks ago. If you go and buy Declan Rice for £80 million and you buy a striker for £50 million, that's it, it's gone. £130 million is gone. Now, if you don't buy Declan Rice and you buy, I don't know, Tchouaméni or Ruben Neves for 40 million, you've got another 40 million as well as the 50 million for a striker. You've got 3 players instead of 2. And that is basically what Rangnick is saying. And this is what Rangnick's a master of. You know, he can probably get Nkunku from Leipzig for 40 million. He'll find a midfielder for 40 million. He'll find you a striker for 40 million. You've got 3 players to go in the first team and compete for 120 million in 3 key positions. So it's just whether United are going to take this on board. But the way back, I think it says the way back on the thumbnail. And look, we have to find a positive. You know, somebody said to me the other day, oh, you're always so negative, Mark. I used to love it when you were positive. And I said, but I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm not happy with Manchester United. I don't care whether you're positive or negative. It's up to you. But I am not happy. I can't fake it. I can't come on the show and go, hello, everybody. It's great. We're going to be back. I really don't know what the way back is. But there has to, you know, there's no point. I don't just like sitting down and being miserable. And that's why having this chat this afternoon, I wouldn't say I was encouraged by it. I just hope the club are going to listen to him because it's something many of you have discussed and I've discussed as well, is the way back is a long way back. It's a long road. If the mountain summit is above us, I still think we're rolling down the hill. We've got to stop. We've got to grab on. Basically, we're rolling down the mountain. Some people think we're climbing up. We're not. We're rolling down the mountain. We need to get one of them big hooks and just smack it into the rock and hold ground for a minute and recover and breathe and go, shit, that was a big fall. I've really hurt my arse and my back. Oh my God, look at the scratch on my knee. But just whack that thing in and hold your ground. Hang there for a bit. Just hold your ground and go, take a deep breath and go, Jesus Christ, I never thought I was going to stop. And then as you get a bit more energy, get your other hook out and start, find some good land, find a path back. And that's what United need to do. Because at the moment, we're just tumbling out of control. So they need to take this advice on board. And it's encouraging because, as I said, we know Rangnick likes to recruit first or second contract players, which roughly translated means he wants to buy players aged between 19 and 24. That's what he wants to buy. Because they're reasonable. And they're hungrier. And that's what he wants Manchester United to do. Whether we can get Manchester United to do that leads into what was said by the board. But I wanted to start on Rangnick's message to the board because some people would say, well, it's very obvious he's doing that. But are they going to listen to him? And in a sense, you know, I listen to people like Adam when he's on the fan forum, who's a big fan of Rangnick. We've not even seen the real Rangnick. We've seen glimpses of the real Rangnick, but we've not even seen what we're seeing with Rangnick at the moment is him making the most out of a mess. Imagine if he could actually have an input on what we would be. If Rangnick did stay in charge of United in one shape or form over the next 2 years, you'd look back on this and go, God, look at what we are now. We would have players within his mould. We'd have a different type of squad and a demograph. The squad would become younger and hungrier, and it would become more athletic and dynamic compared to what it is now. I think United's squad at the moment is lazy, inconsistent and quite slow. We need a manager, a CDM, a forward. Why do we need a director of data science that doesn't win matches? Players with passion do, says Andy Cheetham. And Yell want Mark to be like Ty. No way, Mark's a realist, says Jazz. I don't know what the reference is there. I don't know what the reference is there. But look, so on that platform, you can take it as read that Ralph Rangnick has said to Manchester United, the way back for you is to stop spending big amounts of money on one player. And if you've got 150 million, you need to get 4 players in who can go into your first team. And I can show you how to do that. Because United probably go, how do you get 4 first team players with 150 million? Leave it to Uncle Ralph. I've got my little black book. It's full of young and second contract players in there. I will get you a striker for 50. I will get you a midfielder for 35. I will get you another midfielder for 40. You know, and he will. He will. They might not be players that sell shirts, but he will. And that's the thing, isn't it? Will United go down that path? The club are looking to appoint a deputy director of football. If they appoint one with actual expertise, then we know they are serious, willing to listen to Ralph, says Dan. We'd love it to be Paul Mitchell. But let's have a look at what the club actually said today. Now, look, I apologise. It's coming from the club. You might not believe it. I'm not sure I do. But there has to be a way back. These sort of things, obviously, remember, we've got a new chief executive now in Richard Arnold. He spoke about Goldbridge. That's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel. Click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.